Now my pleasure to welcome Blake back to the stage as we start to wrap things up here at ATT&CKcon 2.0. I'm going to come out from behind the podium because I feel so constrained and I like to walk around. It's been an amazing 3 days, and that's because of all of you. Folks here in person, folks online around the world. People have watched from all kinds of locations and tweeted at us, let us know that they're part of this global ATT&CK community. Just a couple, Mike Kern from Wisconsin, eating some cheese maybe. I don't know how to say that name, but some folks in Poland are having a watch party there. An Australian listening in from Germany, UTC plus 11. So even middle of the night, they tuned into ATT&CKcon 2.0. Mumbai confirmed this morning. They were watching yesterday. They checked in this morning with us as well. Just speaks to the global nature of this amazing community. I wanted to turn it over to Blake to give you a recap of Birds of a Feather sessions, which were Monday afternoon. Seems like so long ago, huh?
Yeah, it does. Thank you, Kitty. So we had several Birds of a Feather sessions set up, spanning topics like sub-techniques, cloud, controls, ICS. And so we went through some of the topic notes that had been collected by our facilitators and just do a quick a recap of those. So one of those sessions was threat hunting and detection. Some of the discussion led towards to think about the confidence levels of detections rather than just making a binary detected or not detected, because that really doesn't tell you what your true coverage is, because there's several different ways that you can detect something, and a lot of times it's your assessment of how well you detect in your own environment based on the tools and resources that you have, which is really cool. And then it's also important to help red and blue come together for purple teaming. That way you can do a lot more rapid detection enhancements. The red and blue will learn from each other, and you'll improve your detections a lot better over time. And then if you're wondering where to get started in this, looking at your data sources is really the best place to start, because you need to make sure that you have the right data available to even get started in detecting threats.
I think we heard a lot of that today even.
Yep. Another one was the analytics session. One of the topics there was we needed to encourage users and communities to write and exchange analytics. So this is very tough for a lot of people because it is sort of how they are detecting threats in their own environment. It's very difficult to share that without risk to potentially letting adversaries know exactly how they're being detected. But we think there could be ways to generalize the information that we can share ideas better without risking our own environments. Another one was that there's a lot of properties around analytics that we need to think about and capture. So there's ease of evasion by adversaries if your detections are based on static strings and they are able to change those false positive rates and things like that. Another one was many top attack techniques don't have public analytic coverage yet, and this is something that we're trying to change with CAR. So we're looking for contributions in these. So if you have detections that work for you in certain areas and you're comfortable sharing those, we'd love to take them and help the community in those areas. And then another one was analytics tied to specific tools can be hard to read by other analysts when sharing. So that's another point for trying to generalize it in a way that is applicable to multiple environments and multiple tools. And then another one was assessments, SOC assessments, and attack-based assessments. So dealing with abstraction can be a pain point. Sometimes it's hard to determine whether it's a procedure or a technique. So that can make a big difference in how you're actually assessing something and what your results are. Measuring coverage is doable. The hard part is tracking that over time. So how often do you do assessments? How do you measure the progress from one assessment to another? It's a big problem for people. So the more information we can get about best practices in that area, I think would help the community a lot. And then we had a feature request. So they'd like a standardized way of creating a simpler chart to communicate at the CISA level. And this may be due to attack being too large and too complex. So we need a better way of sort of honing in on the things that we need CISOs to focus on to make better decisions, which is a really good point. Cloud, another good topic. So we heard that a lot more organizations are getting pushed into the cloud. There's several reasons. So it could be a cost-saving measure. It could be the technology is moving to the cloud that they rely on. And so a lot of people are really happy to see that we're covering cloud in ATT&CK now, which is awesome. Some people felt that the SaaS platform tag may not be that interesting, and they are more interested in specific cloud-native services and techniques against those. And we're trying to cover both. Like I said earlier in my presentation yesterday, we think that cloud is a dynamic environment and the platforms are likely to change over time. So if we find that SaaS isn't really that useful, then we might deprecate it down the road in favor of more specific cloud services when we get more specific techniques in for those services. And another point was that identity and access management is really the new perimeter for a lot of people because it's just basically an account. How do you get access to the account? How do you use those credentials and credentialing materials to access the resources? Because obviously adversaries are going to target those things. So good to hear. Another one was our purple and red teaming session. So having red and blue teams under the same leadership chain is really important because that helps collaboration, that frees up resources for them to do and share similar goals. Another good point is the need to avoid getting things too adversarial because if you create that friction between teams, they're not going to make progress in ways that they need to improve security in the environments. And then the last point was purple teaming is really red teaming done right. We completely agree.
I like that.
Yes. Another good one, I love this one, sub-techniques. So big topic on a lot of people's minds these days. So we got a lot out of it just as us on the attack team because we had a relatively small group. It was a focus session, but a lot of good feedback so far. So we were able to answer some of our concerns right now over structuring some of the techniques, which is great. One of the participants, who shall not be named, did say that his organization has created 900 techniques as extensions to attack, and that sub-techniques will literally save his life. So great to hear. Literally. Yes, literally. And another good point was there's a lot of concern over whether or not it's easy or difficult to learn attack as it's been growing. But the general consensus in the session was that sub-techniques will help people learn about attack easier because it's more refined, it's easier to pin down exactly where something should go because there's more definition around it. And another session was our AI and ML session. So there is obviously a need to be able to describe threat intel in a more normalized and efficient way so that ML can be used better across it. But it is a hard problem. And then the second point was it's often hard to describe how ML-based detections map to techniques because of the more nebulous nature of how the technology works.
We've had lots of conversations, and I'll kind of go back and forth with Blake on this one. We've been hearing from you, the community, and we always try to take feedback, but these 3 days are awesome for us to be able to have so many conversations in the hallways over some candy or LaCroix on what you're thinking, what you need from us. So the first one, Blake, should we do sub-techniques?
Yes, of course.
And I think we've heard that from you. It's not just us saying that. We love that quote so much. We're saving lives here with sub-techniques. One conversation I had from people, we want to know how can we help you better use attack? And someone said, well, we're still not sure how to get started with it. And we've heard that quite a bit. And so over this past year, we've tried to roll out a Getting Started page on our website, the blog series that Nancy and the team put into an ebook, but we're looking for more of that. And I think you as a community can help us with this too. It's not just us. The power of attack is in you all, and so many great presentations throughout this event that have shown people how you can get started using attack. So I put that back on all of you, but that's on our minds as well. Blake, next one. Should I be able to cover 100% of attack?
No.
All right, let's say that again. Blake, 100% coverage, is that realistic?
No, it's not.
It is not realistic, so we've heard that you need help explaining that. You need us to say that, so we've said it now. I will also say, no, you can't get 100% coverage. That's crazy. No one has perfect visibility. No one has perfect data sources, as we've talked about again and again. So no, and so we hope to put out some more content to help you convey that to your stakeholders, whoever they are. The other one, what is the attack team doing next? We had conversations. You really want to know more from us about where we're going. We've tried to write some blog posts, but we can do better, and we will do better because we realize that it's not just curiosity. You have to plan out your teams over the next year, 2 years, 5 years, and what we do, it's kind of crazy, but what we do influences what you all do. So this is some of the feedback that we've gotten over the past 3 days that we wanted to make sure you know that we hear you. As we start to wrap up, I love this tweet from Christian. This morning he commented, he knows it's been a good ATT&CKcon when his idle shower thoughts are filled with ideas about how to better apply ATT&CK, new ideas from day one, and that's really what this is all about. I started off by saying this, that we hope that you'll come together, share ideas about what's working, maybe what isn't working so well, and leave with ideas to make your organization safer. So I'm glad Christian got a head start on that one. Christian see me later for a flag, and I think that was a flag-worthy tweet. Bryson noted challenges. It's a common slide that we saw across a lot of presenters. And yeah, that's absolutely right, Bryson. There are a lot of challenges ahead of us, but we've got it. And we've got it together. And go back to what Tony started off with, the friends we made along the way. The friends we make along the way are going to help us all figure out how to defeat these adversaries, kick them out of our networks, solve problems for a safer world, whether it's here, whether it's back in your own organizations.
So I'd like to give a shout out to one of our original mentors on the ATT&CK project, Richard Gaines. He was the person who helped us fund the original research that went into it. So we owe a lot of this to him and the effort that he put in to managing our research. Just not the ATT&CK research, but also the broader research program at MITRE over several years. But the one thing he tried to instill in us was he would always ask us, what is your North Star? And I can confidently say that it's the community. We're doing this for you because we want ATT&CK to be better to serve you guys. So thank you very much. You are the reason that we do this.
That's awesome. I love the North Star. So we love this tweet. ATT&CKcon is awesome. Changed my mind. I don't think anyone will change their mind. DOIT Security on Twitter. A survey is going to be sent out from ATT&CKcon@mitre.org after the conference. Just like the ATT&CK team loves your feedback to make it better, we want to make this event even better next year. As many of you know, we can't put on these amazing events without a lot of people. Wanted to thank a couple folks, all of our amazing speakers, putting together this research, all of these amazing slides. That's not easy. So thank you, speakers, all of our sponsors and exhibitors who have invested in making this an amazing event. In-person attendees, thank you all for hanging out with us. It was so much fun for us to chat with all of you here in McLean, drink LaCroix, eat candy, eat snacks. That's my favorite part, as well as the online attendees from around the world. Thank you for tweeting at us, for engaging with us here, because it's really exciting to know that you're watching from around the world. Our audiovisual team, we had so many comments, so many tweets saying this is like the best live stream ever. Ultra HD, woo, it's great. But thank you to the AV team, Lars, the voice of God, who's my new hype man now, so that's awesome. Wanted to give some special shout outs to a few people. Again, there are so many people behind the scenes. Pretty much everyone who's on stage the first day helped out from the ATT&CK team. But our strategic communications team has been unbelievable. They've been planning basically since last year's ATT&CKcon. Debbie, Nancy, Karen, Nicole, Pascal, Nils, Aaron, Kelsey, Gina, and Jeremy. And that's just a small portion of the many, many communications and events folks behind the scenes. So let's give them a round of applause. And one thing that we've learned as we've worked through all of our ATT&CK communications externally, as well as this event, is that things work really well when technical teams and communications folks work together. Again, this community thing, it's just no different here. And so what we've found is we've had this amazing partnership where, for example, Rich Struess has an idea to make some subway maps. Pascal, amazing designer. Then, well, we want the techniques to be kind of logically sequenced because not that any of you would hyper-analyze them and look if that's realistic or not. So then Mike Hartley from our team looked through the actual group pages and tried to think of realistic chaining of techniques. What a great partnership between graphics, between the technical team to make those things happen. So wanted to give a shout out to the ATT&CK team. Adam Pennington has done so much work on this. So I just want to please join me in thanking Adam for everything he's done. over many, many months. He was helping me last night at like 10 o'clock get screenshots of tweets. Other folks on the program committee, Jamie, Blake, me, John, and Andy, and then Jen Burns, who's no longer with the team, but appreciate her efforts as well. Got to give a special shout out to Jamie, who was amazing on the ATT&CKcon couch. Well done, Jamie. So many other people to thank, but we're just really, really grateful and humbled that everything that you do lets us do what we do every day, and we love so much. So thank you all for coming. Really, really appreciate it, and we hope to see you next year, if not before, on Twitter, in person at conferences. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you later.